Good morning, and welcome to the Sunburst Sanctuary Sunday Meditation Service. My name is Al King, and the topic for today's meditation is loyalty, the first law of spiritual success. A couple of weeks ago, Jake Collier talked about planetary consciousness, the evolution of planetary consciousness, and the Yuga Cycles as put forth by Sri Yukteswar in his book, The Holy Science. The Yuga Cycle is a 24,000-year cycle in which the consciousness of mankind waxes and wanes. There's a high point and a low point, separated by about 12,000 years. And the way this works is that there's our sun is rotating with a dark star, which we can't see, but they end up rotating around each other. And when that occurs, as the solar system is revolving, our sun gets closer to the galactic center and farther from the galactic center. And as we're closer to the galactic center, the consciousness of mankind raises. And as we get farther away from the galactic center, the consciousness de-evolves. So at this point, we're about 2,000 years into the ascent. So we've only got another 10,000 years to go before we reach the pinnacle of consciousness. Mankind's evolution of consciousness is going on, and at the same time, the consciousness of each one of us as individuals is evolving. When we come to this planet, we're born into a physical body made up of the substances of the third dimension. And that body is a result of the genetic combinations of our parents. And we also come in a specific time and place. And every time and place puts us under different situations that we're going to be confronted with as we move through this life. And with these different situations, each one of us has a different path of evolution to our consciousness. This body and our minds we refer to as the ego. And this is what we relate to as we're growing up from childhood and as we're going through our life. But in each body here on the planet, there is a soul. And this soul is our true essence. This soul is what God created, and it lasts for eternity. In July of 2001, Norm Paulsen, the founder of Sunburst, gave a talk which we've entitled, Why Meditate? And in this talk, he does a brief description of the soul. And so we're going to let Norm, instead of me reading a quote, we're going to play a recording of this talk.
What is this soul of us? It's God's blueprint, the mental projection of subatomic particles and thought forms that He had for each one of us from the very beginning to the end. This is our soul, totally divine, waiting to be awakened in us to the consciousness of Christ.
As we travel through this life, our consciousness is evolving. We are moving to a place, hopefully, where we recognize and experience the presence of God within us at all times. This is Christ consciousness. And again, from his talk in 2001, Norm describes Christ consciousness.
What is the consciousness of Christ? It's knowing our divine parents face to face and having the privilege of being a son and a daughter, and knowing we are a son and a daughter, and having our prayers answered and our desires fulfilled.
So today's topic, loyalty, the first law of spiritual success. Yogananda put it, loyalty is the greatest law of the spiritual path. And I wanted to understand that a little bit more, and I did an internet search of Kriya Yoga websites. And what I was struck with was that at that time, the emphasis was on loyalty to the guru and the path. When Yogananda was here, it was at the end of the Piscean age. The age of Pisces runs roughly from the time of Christ to roughly the present era. And the emphasis in the Piscean age was on faith, I believe. Well, now we're entering what's known as the Aquarian age. And the emphasis is not on faith, but on knowing. I know is the key word for Aquarius. And Norm Paulsen was an Aquarian, and he had a little bit different take. And so I'm going to read a quote from him. Loyalty is unfailing devotion to the pure self, the image of God within you. So the emphasis as we change ages is from having a faith to knowing. The emphasis is from loyalty to the guru to loyalty to that which the guru was pointing to the path home, to the consciousness of Christ. When I think of loyalty, the first thing that comes to mind usually is a nation, a cause, a person, an organization. And loyalty in that context usually is one way. The individual is expected to be loyal to the organization or to the cause. If we change our perspective a little bit and look at our relationship to God, God is ever loyal to us. God loves us. And we would do well to return that loyalty to God. Be loyal to the idea that we want to see and experience God's presence in us at all times. When I started to prepare this talk, I was thinking about the concept of loyalty. And one of the things that I've done, well, in the time before we were, when we actually had in-person Sunday services, one of my opportunities to serve was to choose the music that the band would perform for the service. And one of the things that struck me from the beginning was there are topics that it's really easy to pick out a song for. And then there are other topics like loyalty that in going through our songbook, I couldn't find anything that related directly to it. So I thought, well, here's an opportunity. Perhaps I can come up with a song for loyalty. And so early in the process, the song came, and that song has informed how the rest of the talk developed. So I'm going to grab a guitar, and you'll have a chance to hear this song first time ever. So the concept of this song is about the reciprocity between loyalty between God and between us. Help me to be as loyal to you as you are to me. Your life flows through my body each day. May I be conscious of you. I want to be true-hearted, steadfast like you. Help me to be as devoted to you as you are to me. Without your love, without your life, my life would cease to be. I want to be true-hearted, steadfast like you. True-hearted, steadfast like you. So, how do we express loyalty to the experience of the presence of God within us? Norm would say, meditate. Meditation was his answer. Meditation is an activity that we can do. It's an action that we can take to help us evolve our consciousness so that we know that we are one with God. In his talk in 2001, Why Meditate?, Norm addresses this.
Why should we meditate? Why should we learn to meditate? Why should we spend the time as young people, as old people, to find out who we really are? To really know who we really are. There was a saint in India whose only meditation was, he continually asked himself, who am I? Over and over and over and over again in his meditations, till he found out who he was. Make the effort now today and say to your soul, I am going to meditate twice a day. When I get up in the morning for however long I can, and before I go to sleep at night. And keep the door on the crown of your head open.
At this time, we're now going to go into a period of silent meditation. First, we're going to play a studio version of the song Loyalty. And as that song tapers off, we can then go into meditation. And I invite you to think about being loyal to the idea of experiencing the presence of God in all that you do. Help me to be as loyal to you as you are to me. Your life flows through my body each day.
Why did God create us all? Because he wanted to come here and play on this earth. Exist through our five senses: sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch. What a wondrous thing it is that they work, that we can play and sing and dance and run and swim and work and create. All these things, these good things of life, God came here to do.
Norm often talked about inviting God to be with us in all our activities. My wife, Dawn, and I often are very conscious when we're out in nature to invite God to experience her awesome creation through us, through our eyes, to feel the wind. During the week leading up to this talk, or I guess last week, I had a lot of things to do, a lot of work on the ranch. I was occupied by thinking about this talk, and an opportunity came up, an opportunity to go up to Morro Bay in San Simeon and observe the birds and the elephant seals. And one of the people going with us was an excellent birder who was very good at identifying the birds, even to age and their sex. And so it was an opportunity that we really didn't want to miss. And it was a great dilemma for me. I really felt I had a lot of work to do here, but at the same time, it was a chance to be out in nature. So Don and I very consciously laid out the dilemma to Spirit. And we said, okay, here's what we've got. We can go out and play with you in nature, or we can stay here on the ranch and work. So we would like you to help us with this. We're going to do a coin toss. Heads, we go out and play with you. Tails, we stay home with and work. Well, God didn't hesitate. He wanted to play. So we ran off and had a wonderful time. This reminds me of something that Norm often talked about, and that was co-creating with God. We have the opportunity to help God with making this planet a better place. The last time I did one of these Sunday services, we invited the participants to join in with us in a chant, a prayer for rain. And it was interesting. We've had about 13 and a half inches of rain so far this season, and 10 of them came very soon after that chant. So we're going to play that chant again, and I invite you to join with us and chant along with the recording. Co-create with Mother, Father, God. Be part of helping balance the planet and bring rain to this area of the planet that still is in great drought. I thank you for being with us here today and participating in this video meditation service. Hey yonder, hey yonder, let the clouds gather. Hey yonder, hey yonder, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Hey yonder, hey yonder, let the clouds gather. Hey yonder, hey yonder, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Hey yonder, hey yonder, let the clouds gather. Hey yonder, hey yonder, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Hey yonder, hey yonder, let the clouds gather. Hey yonder, hey yonder, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Hey yonder, hey yonder, let the clouds gather. Hey yonder, hey yonder, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Hey yonder, hey yonder, let the clouds gather. Hey yonder, hey yonder, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Hey yonder, hey yonder, let the clouds gather. Hey yonder, hey yonder, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Aho.